August 2017. An 18-year-old girl walks out of a hospital and vanishes. Days later, something unthinkable is found floating in Lake Ontario. But that was only the beginning. Because what police would uncover months later, hidden inside a freezer, inside a quiet basement apartment, would shock an entire country. This is the chilling case of Rori Hache. It was the night of August 30, 2017, in Oshawa, Ontario. Rori Hache, just 18 years old, wasn't feeling well. Concerned for her health, she made her way to Lake Ridge Health Hospital. Like many nights in emergency rooms, it was quiet, routine, uneventful. Security cameras captured her inside. She appeared calm, tired but calm. No one could have imagined that these would be the last confirmed images of Rori alive. At some point during the night, she left the hospital. And then she disappeared. When Rori didn't return home, her family knew something was wrong. This wasn't like her. She wasn't someone who would just vanish. Hours turned into days. Phone calls went unanswered. Messages were never read. Her loved ones began searching. Friends shared her photo online. Posters went up. Police launched a missing persons investigation, retracing her steps, analyzing CCTV footage, and trying to determine what happened after she walked out of the hospital. But there were no immediate answers, no signs of struggle, no clear suspects, just silence. What no one knew yet was that Rori's story had already taken a horrifying turn. On September 11, 2017, nearly 2 weeks after Rori disappeared, something shocking was discovered. Fishermen at Oshawa Harbor spotted something floating in the water. At first, they couldn't make sense of it, but as they got closer, the reality became undeniable. It was human remains. Police were called immediately, and the area was secured. The remains, a torso, were recovered from Lake Ontario. It was a grim and disturbing discovery. Investigators now knew this wasn't just a missing persons case. This was a homicide. For weeks, forensic teams worked tirelessly to identify the victim. DNA testing would eventually confirm what everyone feared. The remains belonged to Rori Hache. The news devastated her family, but it also raised terrifying questions. Where were the rest of her remains? What happened to her? And who was responsible? One detail made the case even more heartbreaking. Rori was pregnant at the time of her death. Now, investigators were dealing with not just one tragedy, but two. The case intensified. Police began combing through evidence, looking at Rori's connections, her last known contacts, and anyone who might have crossed her path, but still no clear suspect emerged. And then, months later, a completely unexpected call would change everything. It was late December 2017. In a quiet residential building on McMillan Drive, something strange was happening. The plumbing system had become severely clogged. Residents complained water wasn't draining properly. So plumbers were called in. What they found would shock even the most experienced professionals. As they worked on the pipes, they began pulling out something unusual. It wasn't typical debris. It wasn't grease or waste. It was something organic. Something that looked disturbingly like human tissue. Realizing the severity of the situation, they immediately contacted police. Officers arrived quickly, and what happened next would become one of the most chilling moments in the case. The tenant of the basement apartment, Adam Strong, was there. When police confronted him, he reportedly said, "Okay, you got me. The gig's up. It's a body. If you want the rest, it's in my freezer." Those words sent shockwaves through investigators. Inside that apartment was the truth. Police entered the basement apartment. What they found was beyond disturbing. Inside a bedroom, there was a large freezer. When investigators opened it, they discovered the remaining parts of Rori Hache's body. The scene was described as something out of a nightmare. The apartment quickly became known as a house of horrors. Forensic teams worked around the clock, documenting everything. But the horror didn't stop there. As they processed the scene, investigators made another shocking discovery. DNA evidence inside the apartment didn't belong to just one victim. It belonged to another missing young woman, Candace Fitzpatrick. She had disappeared in 2008, nearly a decade earlier. Her case had gone cold, until now. Suddenly, this wasn't just one murder. It was a pattern, a terrifying pattern. Adam Strong was arrested and charged. As the investigation unfolded, more disturbing details emerged. Strong admitted to dismembering Rori Hache. He also revealed how he disposed of remains. According to investigators, he used plumbing systems, flushing parts down the drain. He even claimed it was an efficient method. A chilling admission that suggested this wasn't his first time. And it wasn't. Evidence tied him directly to Candace Fitzpatrick's death as well. The quiet basement apartment had hidden years of horror. Neighbors had no idea, no signs, no warnings. Just an ordinary man living an unthinkable secret life. In March 2021, the case finally reached its conclusion in court. Adam Strong was found guilty of first-degree murder of Rori Hache, manslaughter in the death of Candace Fitzpatrick. The judge sentenced him to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. For Rori's family, it was a moment of justice, but not closure, because no sentence can undo what was lost. Rori was just 18 years old. She had her entire life ahead of her. She was about to become a mother. And Candace Fitzpatrick, another life taken too soon, finally had answers after years of uncertainty. The case left a lasting impact across Canada. It exposed how danger can exist behind closed doors, and how sometimes the truth is hidden in the most unexpected places. A hospital visit, a disappearance, a discovery in the water, and a freezer that revealed the truth. The case of Rori Hache is a chilling reminder that some of the darkest stories are hidden in plain sight.